The rain hammered against the windshield. Emma gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white. Each gust of wind rattled the car, and the road ahead was lost in a wall of water.
I've been driving for hours trying to make it home before the storm hit, but now I'm caught in its fury. The engine died. Emma struggled to keep the car steady as it coasted to a stop on the deserted road. Panic welled up inside her. She was stranded, no phone signal. Through the sheeting rain, she saw a faint light in the distance, a farmhouse perched on a hill. Gathering her courage, she pushed open the car door and stepped out into the storm.
A weathered woman opened the door, her face etched with years of hard living. Her eyes, though, held a spark of warmth that cut through the chill of the night.
You're soaked through, child. Come in, come in. The warmth of the farmhouse enveloped Emma like a comforting embrace. A fire crackled in the hearth, casting dancing shadows on the worn furniture and faded wallpaper. The woman bustled about, fetching Emma a blanket and a steaming mug of tea.
"Thank you," Emma murmured, her voice trembling as much from relief as from the cold.
You're safe here now, dear. The storm won't last forever. Her eyes, a pale, almost unsettling shade of blue, held Emma's gaze for a moment longer than felt comfortable. Then she smiled and the unsettling feeling vanished.
The storm raged outside, a constant roar against the windows. Inside, the fire crackled, and Emma found herself strangely reluctant to move from its warmth. The woman, who introduced herself as Agnes, moved with a grace that belied her age, her steps silent on the worn floorboards.
There's something about Agnes that keeps snagging at the edges of my awareness, a sense of familiarity that I can't quite place. Her features seem to shift, to rearrange themselves when I'm not looking directly at her. You live here alone?
Oh, I've had company of one sort or another, but they never stay long.
Emma's gaze wandered to the wall behind Agnes. A collection of photographs hung there, a mismatched assortment of frames holding faded images. Intrigued, she rose and walked towards them.
The photos, they're all of Agnes. Agnes as a young woman, her hair in braids, a mischievous glint in her eye. Agnes as a young mother, cradling a baby in her arms. Agnes at various ages, her life documented in these faded snapshots. But something was wrong. Emma's breath caught in her throat. The clothes changed, the hairstyles evolved through the decades, but Agnes, she didn't age. Her face in every picture, from the earliest sepia-toned image to the most recent color photograph, was exactly the same.
The storm raged on, a relentless assault on the old farmhouse. Emma sat huddled in the darkness, a blanket clutched around her shoulders, her heart pounding in her chest. Agnes had disappeared into the shadows, leaving Emma alone with her growing fear. The fire in the hearth had dwindled to glowing embers, casting flickering shadows that danced across the walls. Emma's gaze fell on an old tarnished mirror hanging on the wall, its surface reflecting the faint glow of the embers. As she watched, the reflection in the mirror seemed to shift, to distort. It was Agnes, her back to Emma, standing by the window, her silhouette a dark outline against the storm-tossed sky. In the reflection, Agnes's form wavered, her human facade slipping away. Emma screamed, scrambling back from the horrifying vision in the mirror. She stumbled to her feet, her mind reeling, her body trembling with terror. She had to get out, had to escape the nightmare that the farmhouse had become. She ran for the front door, her hand fumbling with the latch, but it wouldn't budge. It was locked, bolted from the outside. Panic surged through her, cold and suffocating.
You can't leave now, dear. The storm hasn't passed yet. Emma whirled around, her back against the door, her eyes wide with terror. An unnatural light emanated from Agnes, casting long, grotesque shadows that danced across the walls. Emma was trapped, caught in a nightmare from which there was no escape.